But right before that, I got half a foot in the door because I got hired to work on a cartoon series for Rocafella Films and State Property. So Beanie Siegel was creating an animated series at the time called The Playpen. So I submitted some work. They ended up bringing me out to New York, and I was like, I got my first real gig. I was excited. I was hanging out in the studio with these guys. I met Jay-Z. I was just like, it was like a dream come true to me. And then Beanie Siegel got arrested for attempted murder. And so like that killed the cartoon, all puns intended, so anyways, that led to me just packing up and moving out to LA and just taking a risk.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, you said so much, but you almost got deleted over a Flubber movie, man. That would have changed the course of world history. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. Yeah.
Man, I can ask you. I mean, you kind of touched on it, but what was it like? Working with The Rock. I mean, because at that time they would had to be like at the top of music. Some people's favorite musicians on earth. You got Kanye, you got Jay, you got Beanie, you got Bleak, and they signed Dipset. They was on fire, man. I mean,
Yeah. It was, it was funny because when I was working with them, it was right at the beginning of Jay and Dame starting to have their issues, right? So Rockefeller was kind of starting to fall apart right when I got there. And so it was really odd because I would so most of the time I spent was with Beanie Siegel and young Chris and what I'm saying, those guys like the state property side. But the way they were talking, like, and sometimes it was talking a little bit in code, but I got the sense that there was just a lot of people unhappy there, and so, but I didn't, at the time, I'm just excited to be there, so I didn't really think much of it, but it was interesting though because like, so when I was hanging out with like Beanie Siegel and those guys, they used to record at this studio in New York called Quad, right? And Quad, I remember when we got on the elevator, they showed that's where Tupac got shot up at, right? And so like they showed me like there was, bro, I swear to you, it looked like there was still bullet fragments like lodged into the elevator. It was crazy. So but anyways, so that's the studio like it was like more like it was like a trap house, bro. Like they would come from Philly and they it was like Percocet and you know what I'm saying, codeine and banana clips on the table. Shit, like I'm having to draw, in the midst of all of this. But then I would go to Baseline Studio where Jay would record, and it was like a whole nother world. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Like they was like they had like wine glasses and hors d'oeuvres, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy. But you saw the difference between like Jay's world and like the state property world or whatever. But it was cool though, man, because I got to meet a lot of really really cool people. I got to really get to know Beanie Siegel, who's a really really smart dude. Really, I mean, we still keep in touch to this day. And Petey Crack actually just reached out like the other day, so I'm supposed to talk to him today, like just randomly, but yeah, man, it was a dope experience because I was a big fan of Rockefeller anyway. So for me, it was like I was just like a kid in a candy store, like I couldn't believe it.
yeah, man, that's amazing. People, dream of just, even meeting, people from Rockefeller, especially at that time, let alone getting the opportunity to work with them and build relationships with them. That's dope, man.
I tell you,
Uh,
I tell you a couple. I tell you two funny stories about the Rockefeller situation. Um, so when I was when I was working at the office and I was working on the character designs for the show, right? This one girl came up to me and she was like, she's like, "You gonna put me in the show?" And I'm like, I mean, like, who are you? And she was like, "You don't know who I am?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "It's Hovey, baby." She said, "That's me." I'm like, "How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know that's you? Like, what? I'm supposed to recognize your voice?" And that means you should be on the show because you said it's Hovey, baby, on the record. But that was funny. And then I remember Beanie Siegel. He was doing an interview with Jay on 106 in Park. I don't even remember 106 in Park, right? And he was like, "Yo, I want to take some of the artwork to the interview and show them on TV." And I was like, "Oh wow, all right." So I gathered a bunch of drawings, put them in a folder, and a binder, and gave it to Siegel, right? So if you can find it, you'll see it. So Beans is on stage with this big binder, and they're like, "Yo, what is that? What you got?" And he's like, "Yo, we coming out with a cartoon," and he opens it up, and so my artwork was in there. You know what I'm saying? And Jay was looking, and I remember Free. I think it was Free was like, "Yo, Jay, they gave you some big lips, right?" And they started laughing about it. And it was like 10, 15 minutes later, I got a call that was like, "Yo, Jay don't like his design." he's like, "Yo, you made his lips crazy. Like, you need to fix it." I said, "Yo, I'm on it. Say no more." You know.
Man, that is crazy. That's amazing. 106 in Park used to be the show, especially for the youngsters. I mean, because so much time done passed. So I don't want to, minimize what you was doing. That was like the top. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's dope.
That was a big deal. Well, I
A
mean,
real big deal.
For me, it was a big deal. Period. It was a big deal that I was even talking to Beanie Siegel. That was even at the Rocafella office. I mean, to this day, man. Honestly, all of this is still overwhelming to me. Like, I'm a kid from Fayetteville, didn't graduate high school, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I didn't. I couldn't even imagine. I knew it was something I wanted to do. I didn't know how it would happen or when it would happen. But I'm always grateful every day just to have the opportunity to even do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And so like every moment like that is a huge deal to me, especially when I know we don't have a lot of role models and people to look up to. And I feel like if there's an opportunity for me to inspire young kids in a similar situation, because when I was growing up in Fayetteville, it was at the height of the crack epidemic. And so, I literally saw my neighborhood get turned, like a lot of our neighborhoods get turned upside down, like overnight. And you saw these people dying and getting locked up, and it was just like, at a certain point, it was hard to even see through this cloud of just negative stuff that was going on in our community. So to be able to make it out and to do something that's impactful to the culture, and then have the opportunity to inspire other kids and be able to talk to them and teach them and nurture their gifts and their talents, like that's everything to me.
Yeah, that's dope, King. That's truly inspiring. And shout out to Fayetteville because a lot of, great and creative people have either, came from there or, a lot of people go there to study and live, or people try to come there and hustle. It's an organic place, man. So they definitely instill something in you. You know what I'm saying? And you showing that throughout your work.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.